Hey guys, what's going on? I am back today with another video of the Messenger Bot series for photographers. And today, we're going to bust some myths. So, I am Joe, I am with Dana and Joe, and we are the creators of the Booking Lab. We are a photography educational brand where we teach you how to grow your business using outside-the-box marketing strategies. So, if you haven't already, would you be so kind? Give us a subscribe, come on over, join us in the free Facebook group, the Booking Lab, where I basically, everything that I teach here, I just go a little bit more in depth and we get to hang out as a community together. All right, so if you are interested and you're like, Joe, what are messenger bots? How do I use this? How do I grow my wedding photography or any photography business with this? Then first, I need to dispel some myths because there's some myths that are floating around out there and I think they're just absolutely baloney, and we're gonna chat about them real quick, all right? So let me share my screen. All right. I'm a slides guy. Otherwise, I'll just rant and go off topic. All right, so chatbot myths busted, right? So number one, they require coding. So if you have no idea what a messenger bot is, you're probably like, as soon as you hear that B-O-T word, right? I wish I put a graphic on here. I should put a graphic, like, kicking a myth or something, right? I feel like Mythbusters today. So they require coding. They don't require coding. I promise you, they do not require coding. In fact, there's a lot of companies out there right now who have made it like wickedly easy to create a messenger bot. In fact, in one of the next two videos, I actually show you how to sign up and create your first messenger bot literally in 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes or less, you can have your first messenger bot set up today, collecting leads from your Facebook website, things like that, okay? So, Facebook Messenger bots are essentially, it's just a pre-programmed message that you use to basically generate leads and build a subscriber list where you can have a conversation with them and eventually get them the book, all right? So a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I have to program stuff, right? So they're like, it requires coding, but it doesn't. So one of the companies I use, the companies that, I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever, but I've used since the inception of them. They're kind of the leaders in the messenger bot spaces, ManyChat, right? So ManyChat is free to get started, and then it's like then it's $10 a month if you want some of the pro features, and then it tiers up based on how many subscribers you have, right? So super cheap for what you get out of this thing. Now, when I go in there, the way I learn is, they basically had a free course, and I went in and I went through it. But really, honestly, at the end of the day, there was a lot of extra stuff, but it's very, very straightforward to get it started. If you can type a text message, right, and if you know how to write an email where you can drop some stuff into it or tap on something and put a link into it, you can create a messenger bot, right? Now, if you want to get super advanced, by all means do it. Can you do coding? Absolutely. But it does not require coding, so I need to dispel that myth. So myth number one, busted. Boom, right? So coding not required, super simple. In fact, I've taught many people who say they aren't tech savvy. I've taught them and they found that it's pretty easy to pick up on. Number two, they lack a human touch. You know what? This is the number one thing that I hear the most. Hey, I always ask people, why aren't you using messenger bots? Well, it doesn't sound like a human, right? Or it's not human-like. Yeah, I understand that, right? But it's not supposed to replace the human. It's not supposed to completely replace the conversation. It's supposed to just start the conversation, right? So the way I use the messenger bot, one example, just so you can kind of see how this works, is if somebody wants pricing, they have the ability to click the pricing button on my website, which then takes them to Facebook Messenger, where it then delivers them some pricing information and asks them one or two questions. And then at the end it says, hey, would you like to talk to someone from Buchanan Photography, right? It's not replacing the human conversation. It's just starting it, right? I'm giving them the information. So if you go back to my previous video, so the first video in the series, I talk about why the behavior of today's customers in the photography business. They want information and they want it immediately, right? So I'm giving them that, but then I'm also allowing it to make that transition over to a human chat, right? So, my phone notifies me as soon as someone comes in my Facebook Messenger, and then I'm going to let them do what they need to do, and then I can hop in and I can start talking with them. It is not replacing the human conversation. Now, I've seen plenty of messenger bots where they literally type the words in it, sounding like a robot. You don't want to sound like a robot. It's boring, and you're going to lose people's attention, and people aren't going to like it. It does require a little bit of finesse, but it's not that difficult. Just you're going to type like you're talking to a friend, okay? In fact, I've seen a lot of people create messenger conversations that are absolutely hilarious and entertaining. And guess what? People want entertaining information these days, okay? So anyways, I'm moving on. They lack a human touch. They do not. Yes, it's a pre-programmed message, but at the end of the day, it's a conversation starter, not a conversation replacement. Remember that. All right, the user experience is flawed. Yes, if you stink of building messenger bot experience, then yes, it is flawed. However, if you can build a good user experience, it is not flawed. Now, how do you build a good user experience? Guess what? By testing and practicing, okay? So if you don't have a messenger bot in place, get one in place today and start seeing how your customers interact with it. Now, if someone clicks on your messenger bot and it's somebody that you know, you can send it to your friends. Be like, hey, I just built this messenger bot sequence. It's my welcome message for anybody who messages my business page or goes into my Facebook Messenger. Do you mind testing this out and giving me feedback, right? Get feedback from your family, your friends, right, before you start running clients through it. I keep saying clients, I mean leads. We start running leads through it and get them to give you feedback so that you can improve upon it. But quite honestly, guys, the thing with messenger bots is to keep it simplified. Keep it simple. The old KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, silly. What you're trying to do is not overwhelm them, but just give them the information that they need and give it to them immediately. You don't want a lot of text in there. This is just a text message conversation essentially inside Messenger, and that's about it. So, can the user experience be flawed? Yes, but it can definitely be overcome with feedback and a lot of practice, right? All right, and then finally, this is great. Facebook is dead and chatbots are only on Facebook. All right, so Facebook is not dead. I remember when Dana and I went to Guatemala last year. And yes, I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. Facebook is alive and well in other countries. In fact, that is the preferred social media platform in other countries. And so Facebook and WhatsApp. Instagram really isn't that big of a deal outside of the U.S. I feel like U.S. Instagram is way bigger. But, you know, here in the local area, you know, yes, do a lot of couples hang out on Facebook? Not as many as what it used to be, but they're still there, right? But Facebook is not dead, okay? And, you know, if you didn't know already, Facebook owns Instagram. So I know photographers, like whenever I talk about Facebook, whenever I talk about messenger bots, like, that's great, Joe, I'm on Instagram. That's where I get all my business. I love Instagram, right? And I'm not hating on Instagram. I use Instagram, I love Instagram. But Facebook owns Instagram. If you run a Facebook ad or you run an Instagram ad, you have to use the Facebook ad manager. If you want to run, I don't know where I was going with that. Ignore that last thought. But if you didn't know already, I talked about this previous video and I've chatted about this a little bit. But in the future, Facebook is going to open up the Instagram direct messaging inbox to chatbots, right? It's just a matter of time, guys. In fact, they're talking about next spring doing this because earlier this year in 2019, Zuckerberg came out and he said, I'm going to combine Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, and WhatsApp, right? 3 distinct messenger systems, and I'm going to combine them into one, right? How they're going to do that, I have no idea. That's up to them to determine. But we have to know that these changes are coming. And if you can position yourself and get ready for these changes, you put yourself ahead of your competition, right? But you also end up being where you're also end up being where your customers are hanging out, right? So, chatbots are not only on Facebook. In fact, I get leads from my website using chatbots because messenger bots, I can put a link anywhere on my website. I can use a pop-up widget. I can use a chat widget on my website. And then basically someone visits my website, they click any of those buttons, it takes them over to Facebook Messenger. They are now a subscriber and I can have a conversation with them. I can also put links in my Instagram profile. I can put links in Pinterest. I can put links in other people's blogs, right? Podcasts, anything like that. And someone clicks on that, they come over to Facebook Messenger, right? So it's like you're putting all these strands out, all these things out in the world where people can basically click on it, and then it all comes back to your central location, which is your Facebook Messenger, right? So once they're inside your Facebook Messenger, you now have them as a lead, right? They can't leave. You know who they are. You can see their profile. You can message them, and you have a better chance of chatting with them. So I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with that, but Facebook is not dead, and neither is Facebook Messenger. You can't sleep on this technology, guys. You cannot sleep on this. You got to pay attention to the trends in the market, and I promise you, Facebook Messenger is here to stay, and so are chatbots. They're only going to get better. They're only going to get more advanced, and in fact, I wouldn't be surprised in the future. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be 1 or 2 years from now, but maybe 5 to 10 years, right? That the expectation is everybody has some kind of messenger in place, and that is how couples are going to communicate with the business. So, that are the chatbots myths busted. I threw a little stat down there. I love stats because sometimes hearing it from other people outside of me, people are like, oh, okay, yeah, Joe isn't just blowing smoke on my butt. But by 2020, at least 80% of businesses are expected to have some form of chatbot automation implemented. I think 80% is a little over-exaggeration because there's still businesses that have no idea what the heck a chatbot is, right? So I would say more close to like 2022. But the awareness of messenger bots and messenger marketing is definitely accelerating. There's no question about that. More and more businesses are using them. I love them. I use them in my business. Other people are using them successfully. So in the next video, I got to see what the topic is. But the next video, I'm going to teach you guys how to use set up a messenger bot in less than 30 minutes. I'm going to show you how to set up a Facebook ad using a messenger bot. And then I'm also going to show you how to generate leads using a messenger bot. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. If you guys like this content, go ahead and give me a subscribe. I would much appreciate that. If you haven't already, come on, join us over in the Booking Lab in our which is our free Facebook group where I teach all this just to a deeper level, and we get to hang out with a great community of photographers. Hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you around. Bye, guys.